What's up? It's Jobringus, your favorite inefficient reg, bringing you guys another update video. It is currently the evening of May 1st. I think I've played a moderate amount this month. I was actually sick for a little bit of the month, and as a result, that meant there were some days where I didn't want to do anything, and then there were some days where I was sitting in bed all day and played a little bit of RuneScape. So I think it evened out to, again, like a moderate amount of playtime. Pretty happy with what I accomplished. I did manage to actually get some of my big goals done. Right now, I'm just kind of chilling, wood cutting. Probably not going to be doing this too much, but it's something I do sometimes. When I really feel like AFKing and doing some other things, there are some things I'm doing on the side in the background recently. So I'm here, but I probably won't be doing too much wood cutting because I'm curious what forestry will bring. And if I were to guess, I would suspect that probably forestry will buff, kind of like AFK click tree and come back when your inventory's full type of wood cutting. I mean, I sort of skimmed the update or the like proposal post when they put it out, but um, pretty sure they didn't plan to like nerf any existing wood cutting methods. So at worst, like it's going to be the same, I think. But my understanding was they want to make it more desirable for people to, skill together. Um, which means that now instead of me looking for a world without people chopping trees, I would prefer a world with people chopping trees. Um, that'd be nice if that's some improvement, and if it's not, then whatever. We'll see. I don't remember if they even gave like an expected kind of release date for it, but I think people are generally expecting it in the next few months. So we'll see. Um, but this is just like the most basic, the most AFK way of training woodcutting ever. I've tried, like, I messed around with some tick manipulation methods just for the fun of it in the past, but again, generally this is like, I sit here and I turn my brain off, and that's kind of it. Um, so, like I said, pretty decent gains this month, actually. Um, I got the biggest thing I got. Well, the goal I'd been ongoing working on was about 90 strength via moss giants and hill giants, and I said that I planned to get the moss giant um, portion of that done by the end of the month, and then to spend the rest of the time on smithing instead. And I did. Actually, I'm one Mossy Key short of what I wanted to be at. I wanted to be at 111. But, whatever, one key doesn't matter that much to me. My inventory I was starting to run out of food, and someone started ragging me, and I didn't feel like coming back just to get like one more key. Normally I get somewhere between 1 and 4 keys per inventory. I think the most I ever had was maybe like 6. I don't think I've had an inventory where I went completely dry. Maybe once where I got like attacked. But I didn't feel like coming back just for a trip, for one last trip. So, okay, so 110 Mossy Keys, and that got me up to 86 strength. This is somewhere more than halfway, probably like 2/3 of the way to 87. And I got up to 85 hit points. So those are two of the levels I gained, and then I gained, I think, 7 other levels, most of which were magic and smithing. I don't think there was anything else outside that. Oh, there was one woodcutting level. Okay, and I'm getting relatively close to another one, so I'll get there. And then I made some more progress on prayer. I don't remember how much XP that was, but since I didn't fight like a tremendous amount of moss giants, I know that it wasn't like a huge amount of XP. But I think I went from about beginning of the level to about like halfway through the level. Um, so the biggest gain is smithing from 94 to 97, and that was from I think low 94, lower mid 94 to high 97. I'm about 1.4 million XP away from done 99 smithing. And actually, now that I'm at the bank, I'll show you guys. Here's those Mossy Keys, and this should be enough addy bars, plus or minus like 100, but it should be enough addy bars for me to get 99. I think I think it should just slightly overshoot me, but you know, whatever. If it undershoots me, it's like not a big deal. I can do like an inventory of Rune Two-Handers or something with Dwarven Stouts. It's a good possibility that I will at some point end up, um, smithing a lot of Rune Two-Handers anyway, because sometimes that's a really good moneymaker. With good bar prices, I think it gets as high as like 600k GP profit per hour, which is really big. Um, Obviously, it takes a big cash stack to do that, but oh, that's huge. Since I'm like budgeting about 20 GP per XP for prayer, I'll get like, I don't know. Ooh, congratulations on 90 strength. Um, I'm gonna get something like maybe a million, probably less. Yeah, honestly, probably much less. Maybe like 500k more prayer XP from combat. Maybe a million. So that means I have something like 11 to 12 million prayer XP to like figure out. So basically, I gotta have like, let's call it 240 mil to afford 99 prayer, which it's not cheap. Definitely not cheap. Um, so it's you gotta do what you gotta do, and um, and I think I'm probably somewhere around like 50 mil right now. I guess I should price check those bars to be sure, but basically all my bank is in those bars right now. Um, I guess it would be, since I'm actually like at a bank, I might as well do a price check for the video. Let's see. Cash is, I mean, most of my money is like this, this. I don't know what else is even worth something that I could sell. I honestly I shouldn't even count those because I'm just gonna spend those on rune crafting. I mean, this is like piddly supplies, and it's gonna become zero. The body runes, I guess. I'm probably not gonna sell my body rune stack because I think it's fun to keep it. I guess these runes are worth something. Um, this is so the bank's 54 mil plus a couple more mil in supplies that I'm going to like spend in some capacity or another. And as you can see, 44 mil of that is in these addy bars, which combined, when I turn them into plate bodies, which is slightly profitable right now, and when I alch them, that's gonna turn into a little more money than that. But this is enough for 99, and I'm pretty happy with the price level I got them for. My biggest like concern generally, or my biggest concern this month was like, okay, addy bars are fluctuating like on some of the lowest prices they've been in a while, and I really don't want to let this go. So, I made it a point to get close to 99 and then bank, whatever remains, and that worked out to be about 200k XP away from 98 and banking the rest, and then I'll go through it when I feel like it. I don't super enjoy smithing, but I'll find the opportunity, and it'll probably be when I want to use the cash for something. Maybe like when rune bars get really cheap again, because I think they've gone up somewhat. Um, then I'll probably be like, oh, okay, time to burn through this cash or through this bar stack and get 99. And if I played like one long day, I think I could get pretty close to that. I could get the smithing portion done. Um, there was one day where I played a lot and I got like over a million smithing experience in a day, or at least around there. I don't remember if it was like over a million or under, but I also did a lot of alching. So I mean, I spent like a couple hours smithing and alching, and I've talked about this before that like it's generally profitable enough to alch as opposed to selling in like World 308 that I'll do it. So I could have been done with this faster if I just sold all my bars. I would have made less profit and I wouldn't have gotten those 2 magic levels. But you know, I could have gotten the smithing like 99 and gotten more gains in other stats over the course of this month. And I like, you know, I don't know how much post 99 smithing I'll have to end up doing anyway. Um, so maybe there's some argument to be like, yeah, it was worth to just spend to save the couple hours of alking and sell the bars yourself. But you know, it's like I've got to get this magic level at some point anyway, and the methods that aren't alking are, um, well, I'm probably like not going to do them. I mean, it's like the most efficient method is like you alk while like two-ticking, and I'm probably not going to do two-tick wood cutting. And if I don't do that, I think it was given an EHP rate that was based on like the teleblock. I don't remember if it was just teleblock splashing or if it was like teleblock and alking at the same time. There's some pretty clever method you could do in a PvP world. Um, there was like, I think like 200k experience an hour. I don't remember the rate, but it was like a lot. Um, and I'm not going to do that because you need like an alt for it anyway. So I'm just good, like realistically, I'm probably going to alk a lot of the way to 99. I know this. I don't hate alking. You know, it's pretty easy for me to do because it's like I do it when it's profitable, so I know like the monotony is canceled out with just like how much money I'm getting off it. In my brain, I go like, "Ooh, this is so much prayer experience that I'm like banking in the future." So that's not bad. I don't mind it at all. And after this, I'm probably going to go back to Hill Giants. But one of the reasons that I'm actually uh, kind of wood cutting right now is because oh, did it pick the wrong one? I'm trying to be cheeky here and switch because I'm actually playing on Brojingus as well, except I can't get my OBS to switch to the client I want. No. So right now I'm training some smithing on Brojingus, and I will figure this out. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I will do it. The answer might be that I do this. Ta-da! Okay. I just closed out of Jobringus for a bit. That's fine. Um, Training some smithing. It occurred to me, like, so I was training, I did a couple things recently. I was training crafting by making silver tiaras, and I got a little bit of smithing XP out of that. And I was just accumulating so many rubies in my inventory that I wanted to, like, turn them into rings of forging. It feels too bad as an Iron Man to not use rubies, and unfortunately, as an ultimate, that just means they have to sit in my inventory. So I didn't want to do that, and as a result, it's like, okay, well, I realized that I probably, first off, like a lot of these methods for like level 3 Ultimate Iron Man, not super well documented. I should actually peruse through like mid-level Skill's YouTube channel because I know he has some videos up, and maybe some other Ultimate Skillers have made videos, but like most of the EHP methods are just not the same. Like almost all of the EHP methods for like smithing and crafting, because of the distance between like silver rocks and furnaces and anvils, usually it means that's like the best method either like requires a bank or requires teleports. And I don't have either of those things, and I won't. Um, so, I mean, I get Chronicle teleport, but that's like the one teleport I get. And like the occasional home and Ferox Enclave, but that's like, those are not particularly helpful for any of this grind. So I'm not super sure how like effective of a route this is, but I think it kind of makes sense in my head to go Varrock Southwest, canoe up to Edgeville Furnace, and then walk over to the Anvil in Varrock and smith my items there. So I've been just smithing in Horvik's shop and selling back to him. And my inventory is awkward because of how many rings of forging I have. This one has, all right, 64 more pieces. Um, and then when I run out of these, I don't know if I will actually use these rubies up and finish it, or if I'll just leave them noted. I kind of want to just leave them noted, but maybe not. The hassle is that then I have to go get more silver or more gold. Um, I could have unnoted them and cut them, and then just truly had a useless inventory, and that seemed like a bad idea. So I didn't do that. Um, I've been making 3 plate legs and 1 plate body, and I don't know if that really makes sense from like a money perspective, or really 2 plate bodies. But you know, I think with how much supply I'm selling to Horvik's shop, it's probably like okay. I don't know. The money is not super important to me, but I might just like spend it all on feathers. I did actually go and I earned some rune crafting levels with a pretty jank inventory. I had like 20 inventory spots to do a little rune crafting. But one thing I realized is that since I was like AFKing it alongside doing stuff on Jobringus, it's not like that much worse to just basically walk. Like if you, the whole point of like the um, Chronicle method with like going to Ferox Enclave occasionally is like you recharge your run energy, but the lamp isn't like terribly bad if you just walk from Earth Altar and back to Aubrey's shop. Obviously, it's slower, but it's not like the worst thing in the world, and I kind of did not feel like dealing with. Watch me compete with this bot and lose. Um, I did not really feel like dealing with just like grinding for so much longer just to do a little bit of rune crafting. So I was like, whatever, I'll just kind of do it until I get like tired slash busy on Jobringus and I need to do something else. But like while fighting giants, it was pretty easy to just knock out a couple rune crafting levels. Early on, they go fast anyway. I mean, they were like, even at the end, they'd be like 4 or 5 inventories per level. So not so bad. Um, and I don't know when I'll come back and do more. But now at least if I like get a lamp, then I won't feel like so terrible for having to use it on rune crafting. Like 240 experience is something. I would like to be a little higher. Maybe I will be after I use up these rings. It's definitely a possibility. It depends how much attention I'm gonna need on Jobringus, but again, like crafting earth runes, relatively AFK. You know, it's a lot of like click, walk, mine essence, take your time. So not so bad. And I didn't do the math on what smithing level I'll get by the time I burn through these rings of forging, but you know, should be probably like 2 or 3 levels, I think. Actually, with just this many rings, I'm not super sure about that. Maybe, maybe. Um, I also realized though, like, because with rings of forging, I'm quite certain that my best smithing method is something roughly like what I'm doing. Maybe there's some optimization I'm not thinking of, but you know, again, with like where you can mine iron and where you can smelt and smith it, like this is probably the route that I'm working with. And if someone knows a better one, I would love to hear the suggestion. But like if I don't have rings of forging, um, I haven't measured the smithing XP on this, but I guess this video will sort of act as like a time for how long these laps take. Uh, the I think that the Baronite mining is not that bad, um, which is like surprising to say because I think that caps out at something like 5,000 XP an hour or something bad. But like it's uh, it's relatively AFK. It's all in one place. It doesn't require teleports or inventory, and it does fulfill the side like kind of nice to have that I can do it very easily while also playing on Jobringus. Um, so that's actually probably where I'm going to train a lot of my smithing. And then as I slowly accumulate rubies, I'll come back and do some rings of foraging and yada yada. But after I do this, I'm not super sure what I'll do next, but um, I might actually do some like fishing and cooking. I might also like do the math on what it's going to take to get me up to 500 total level. Competing with bots for menial activities is pretty not fun. So if I can find a way to squeeze out some total levels, then that'd be pretty cool. So I can use the 500 total world, and I shouldn't have to compete with low level bots on a lot of stuff. Um, I forget what the max level on an account build like this is, but I think it's 893. That sounds right. Free to play skiller. So 500 is not nothing, but it's definitely not out of reach. I mean, there's so many like fishing and cooking can go so fast. I can get like 50 levels of each of those with like in a few days. Not that long. And um, and so I might like take this whole cash stack and just expend it on feathers. Acquiring small bits of money is like not very hard for me. So again, the only things I use it on is feathers and rings of foraging, and I can always store some in like the coffers. I've actually never used the coffer for anything before, so I hope there isn't some requirement I'm not aware of. But I think I could just use like the LMS coffer and it's just works. You just put money away, and I don't think there's like maybe I have to do increments of 1,000 or something, but again, I think that I can just put it away. So I can always hide away 2,000 GP just for uncut ruby, or to save for the rings of foraging for these uncut rubies. And it's, again, like spending money on this account build. Not too much stuff I need money for, but there's always stuff that I can spend the money on. Right? I can always, 99 fishing is like 220,000 feathers, and since I'm probably just gonna buy them from the shop, that's like, I think it's actually, well, if you buy multiple, I don't know. I think it's like 2.5 each, roughly. So I don't know. I mean, you need like 500,000 for feathers. That's like nothing, you know. That's like, I mean, I've made like 3,000 in like the course of me filming this video. Um, and there's not much I need for it. Then there's Chronicle teleports, which is the only like moderately expensive thing that I could use. So yeah, I got that 40 smithing. Um, so it's not like a big deal at all. Um, but okay, I think that's roughly what I've got to say. I know that like months ago I talked about how I was gonna get up to 59 woodcutting, and I like never finished that. I just kind of got bored of it. Um, I will probably get close to it from how much I've gotten a lot of woodcutting experience actually just from making stable dugouts. So I'll probably get like another woodcutting level over the course of just grinding some of these other skills, um, just to get around. So it's not something I'm worried about. Plus, there's very little worth, for me to ever equip. I'm not really going to use a low tier pickaxe, probably ever. I think. I mean, maybe there's some situation where I would use a bronze one, but I really doubt it. So I'm basically always going to have the pickaxe in my inventory, and since I'm not like actively chopping trees and my smithing level's low anyway, like I don't. I think I can make a steel axe. I can also buy it from Bob, but I can't even make mithril. So I sold my steel axe, and I just made an iron one to hold, just so I have it to save the inventory spot. And I'm probably just going to walk around with that for a while. So if I ever need to knock out the last few woodcutting levels, it's not that big a deal. I don't think iron's like too much worse than steel. I don't plan on grinding like large amounts of woodcutting anyway without making a better axe. Um, it won't be like I don't know how much worse it is, and I'm not gonna go crazy over like thou shalt not chop trees until you have rune, but you know, at the very least, I'd like to get mithril, and I think it's like very achievable to get addy, because I think that's like 72 smithing or 73 smithing maybe. 71, yeah. So that's like 800k smithing XP. Uh, Obviously, it's not nothing. It's a lot of hours on an account build like this, but it's like achievable. Um, I don't remember if I ever talked about goals for this account for the year, but you know, 500 total seems like a good medium-term goal. And then I don't know how much further I'll push it. This is again not an account I'm playing like all that much. Um, I'm definitely not like super active on it, and it's quite rare. It's rare for me to play this account and not be playing Jobringus. So usually, what I'm doing this on this account is constrained by what I'm doing on Jobringus. It is also quite common for me to be playing on Jobringus and not be playing this account. So I probably play this account maybe like a third of the time that I'm playing Jobringus, which is part of why some of the gains are slow. And I'm probably gonna again like keep wood cutting while I grind smithing, and then if I do like fishing, which requires not a whole lot of clicking, then I'll do it like AFK style. I'm not gonna eerie fish. I've talked about how I'd like to try that at some point. I don't remember if there's something. I think I just need the snow globe to do it. I don't think you had to have leather to do eerie fishing, but maybe. Can this give me? Can this give me gems? We're about to find out. I don't think it can. I think this one, actually, maybe it can. What did I get? Coins. Well, I'll take coins. Um, but you know, that's how things go on the accounts right now. We've gotten up to a good length of ramble. I wanted to make this a double feature. I was feeling like too sick earlier in the month to just make the Brojingus standalone video. And the more time went on, I thought I'll just do both at once. And so here we are. So I hope you enjoyed this update, and I will see you guys next month.